Good morning, sports fans. Hey, it's your boy Trey and my man Bishop. We here. Good morning. First Formation Sports Talk on E2G Sports Network. How you feeling, Bishop?
I'm good, man. How you doing, man? WGO. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling this Monday morning of first Monday morning of 2022?
Yes. So, of course, y'all know First Formation. This is the first show. This is the first show, one of the first two shows in the E2G Sports Network doing this live thing. So, of course, First Formation is us talking about sports, being both veterans. Myself, a 22-year veteran in the U.S. Army. My man Bishop, 24 years in the Army. And we look forward to having other people like ourselves from any all across the armed forces where we get on here and we talk about sports, careers in the military, armed forces, and so forth. So of course we look forward to going forth. Today we'll have my man Ron Lowe. That's going to be a special guest on here today. Once he comes on, we'll go ahead and get him at it. So Bishop, anything special, anything particular yesterday you see?
Well, the main topics of what's going on in the NFL is, what's kind of like overshadowing everything today is, of course, what AB did at halftime or right after halftime that everyone is talking about in regards of him leaving that Jets game. So yeah, that's a big topic right now. Other than that, man, it's football. It's Monday. Is there any games today? Is there a Monday game? No,
Yes,
there's
it
no.
will be. It
It
will
is a
be.
Monday game.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
went. Yeah,
Pittsburgh, right?
yes,
Pittsburgh
sir.
and Cleveland.
Yes. Hold on one second. Second. Like I said, we'll have a special guest. He's from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, currently in Alaska. 8-year U.S. Armed Forces, U.S. Air Force veteran. We won't hold that against him. He's a business owner. The Speakeasy Entertainment Network, as well as digital Usher's digital agency. Like I said, currently the KNOM radio director in Alaska. With no further ado, my man Ron Lowe. What's going on, Ron? What's going, man?
What's good, fellas? It's a pleasure to thank y'all for having me on.
No
Hey,
problem.
what's going on,
Was-
So, like you said, we had a couple of topics. One of the main ones in which we get into the NFL yesterday. So, of course, it was a full slate of NFL games yesterday. We have one that's going on tonight, which we'll talk about later. But first and foremost, like my man Bishop was just talking about, let's get right into it. The most compelling thing that's out there, AB, Antonio Brown. Yesterday, after from what I understand, what I read through Glazer this morning was that he was ordered. That was the words. I'm not gonna say that that's what happened, but he was told by the head coach. If correct me if I'm wrong, the head coach,
Arians.
yes, Bruce Arians. Correct me if I'm wrong. The head coach is the it's basically the person that tells you what to do on most teams. But he was told by the head coach to get to get into the game, in which he declined, and then we see what came forth as a debacle. Bishop, go ahead, finish what you were saying, bro, about right before I added Ron in.
So the only thing I was saying is I hadn't heard what is still yet to be determined what actually took place. I haven't heard all the details in regards to what caused Antonio Brown to leave that game so abruptly. Just take off his pads, take off his shirt, take off his gloves, and throw him in the stands. I do know that he was talking before he took everything off. He was talking to wide receiver Mike Evans.
Yes.
So whatever that conversation, whatever transpired within that conversation must have sparked something within AB to make him want to take off his uniform or part of his uniform and leave the facility. It's unfortunate. It's a true tragedy, the fact that he left this game, even though Tampa Bay was to go on and win, and they did come back and beat the Jets in New Jersey. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people are saying, there's things wrong. There are things wrong. There are things mentally wrong with Antonio Brown. I feel like people are being real judgmental too early because we don't know all the details. You need to get the full details on what actually happened. A lot of people are speculating in regards to what actually why he walked off the field. They feel as though it's because a lot of people feel as Antonio Brown is a mental case. They feel he's a prima donna, a bunch of drama, da 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 this, da 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 that. It's been stated. Excuse me. It's been stated that one of the reasons why he walked off the field was because they was going to bench him. Now, again, there is no truth behind that. No one truly knows if that's the true case and whether or not he was going to be benched. However, though, if he was going to be benched, they saying that's the reason why he was upset, because he was like a few passes, a few catches, and a touchdown away from earning $1 million. You know what I'm saying? That game possibly could have been that game to earn him his $1 million for this year, for this season. We just don't know. I pray that everything does come out and we hear the truth about why Antonio Brown left that game. It is very still unfortunate. But I mean, it's Tampa Bay and Tom Brady, the GOAT, did what they had to do to get that win over the Jets. So it didn't stop anything.
Okay, Ron, what do you think? Is this a situation in which AB is showing signs of any mental illness, or is it just a situation in which AB is basically like, you know what, enough is enough. I had my fill, and I'm gonna do me.
It's such a complicated dynamic. If we really look deep into it, a lot of people look back to that one hit that he had when he was still on the Steelers, when he really got his skull cracked in, and he ain't been right since. But a lot's been trending. If we look at everything that happened, we're 3-4 years away now. All the drama that went down in Pittsburgh. Looking back on it, it's kind of like a lot of it was like, AB, yeah, we kind of see what you were talking about with that organization. Then he goes to the Raiders, and now we see all the shenanigans that they've been about. And it's kind of like, okay, we see why it was such chaos there. And now we in Tampa Bay after New England and everything. He's rolling with Tom, and you expect everything to be cool. But looking at the past, you kind of be like, well, now, like what you were saying, Bishop, we really got to look into what was going on, because it sounded like maybe something wasn't right. And he's with Tom Brady. TB12 is going to take care of him. So what exactly happened? And I think it's all going to come out. He's going to die. And fellas, I honestly feel like we going to have to end up saying AB probably was right again, especially if they took him out because he was about to get a check. That's egregious. That's messed up. You're messing with somebody's pockets, messing with somebody's family. He can't be focused. He walked out the state gone. Is mind blowing. I got a question I want to ask y'all.
Yes, sir.
NFL franchises right now would be like, you know what? Whatever. You can come on this squad, AB. We can use some wide receivers.
Wait, so are you asking what franchise you think would take him?
How many? 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, that's a good question, Ron. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it up to I'm gonna let Trey answer after this. So my thing is two things first. One, he walked off the field. Now, when he walked off the field, I want y'all to know Tom Brady wasn't on the sideline. He was on the field. So Tom Brady didn't really know he was leaving until I'm sure he got to the sidelines, because Tom Brady and if I'm not mistaken, Tom Brady as well as Gronk were on the field. I believe the offense was completely on the field. So with that being said, I'm thinking, well, maybe if Tom was on the sidelines, would he have made a difference in regards to whether or not Antonio would have walked or not walked? Because like we all know, Tom Brady is the one who lobbied for Antonio to come to Tampa Bay. So it kind of feels like if Tom was, maybe there, some people need that person to kind of talk them off the ledge. And I feel like Tom might have been that person if he was on the sidelines. Now, to answer your question, Ron, I don't know, man. I don't know. That Tampa Bay was his fourth team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just don't know, man. I mean, even with his skill set, I'm sure somebody could definitely use him on the sideline. But at what cost are you willing to take on that responsibility? What at what cost? You know what I'm saying? Because Antonio Brown is bringing a whole lot of baggage. If you bring him, you bring in his entire suitcase entourage of what he has. And a lot of people, like I stated before, feels like he has a mental case. He's a mental case. And we, in a way, you could kind of feel where people are coming from, because it seems like after so many places, it's no longer the organization. Because I do hear what you said, Ron. It's no longer the organization. Now people are looking at, maybe it is you, Antonio Brown. Maybe it is you. I mean, I get what you're saying. What happened? Things happen at the Las Vegas Raiders. Things happen at New England. Things happen at Pittsburgh. I totally get it. But the common denominator is AB.
Facts.
So when you, like you was just saying, when you look at it, I believe you, Ron. I this morning I sit up and thought about it. I was like, what would San Francisco do in this case?
No, of
so,
all teams, he would say San Francisco.
so I thought about it. But it's you were saying, but it. So what it looks like right now is we've had our field of Antonio Browns with TOs and and the various
Dez
versions of
Bryant's.
Dez Bryant's and
Don't forget Odell Beckham.
ODB, you know what I'm saying? I mean Odell Beckham, so OBJ. So it's I don't know. I think it's a business, and that's what I mainly look at things like. If you're a business at the end of the day, and you do what you got to do to make sure that your business is doing what is making things happen.
But what
So,
at cost? What at
and
what
that's what I was about
cost,
to
Trey?
say. But at what cost? So, do I bring in? It's like at this point, before everything is out and we know exactly what went on that sideline. At this point, AB is he would be considered, and I don't want to use the term lightly, but as they all say, cancerous to a a locker room. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's looked at. I'm very sure at this point he's looked at, like, saying, is this now, if it's about, like you was saying, Ron, about him and his check, him getting his check, and they basically but like I said, what I was reading is Aaron's told him to go in the game, and AB refused and
Right.
decided not to. Next,
That's why we gotta find out everything.
yeah, next he's pulling the pads off. You see Evans walk up to him. You thought he spoke something into him, and he probably was like, "Nah, man." Went ahead, continued, put it off, and then walked off in grand fashion. Hyping up the crowd, and and dropped the mic and walked out into the tunnel at
With
East
style.
Rutherford. Yeah.
With style. I ain't gonna lie, he did it with style. I'm not gonna lie. But I got a question for you and Ron, Trey.
Uh-huh.
Even though you didn't answer Ron's question in regards, do you think a team will actually pick him up?
I think someone will pick him up. No, correction. I do not. Not unless it's a serious situation. I mean, you got to think playoff pushes now. Teams want to solidify. You got the Tennessee Titans currently. They don't have they're without Julie. I mean, what's his name? Without Jones.
Mm-hmm.
They need another receiver for the most part. Someone might kick the tires on them. But go ahead with your question, Bishop.
So my question to y'all is, do you feel like, at what point is it no longer about the money? If it is the case that Antonio Brown, if it does come out that Antonio Brown actually left that game because, which it really ain't about to make sense, because you saying, Trey, that Bruce was about to put him in the game,
Yeah.
and he decided not to go into the game. But at what point is it no longer about just the money and it's about winning championships?
Ron, go ahead.
At what point is it about winning championships and not the money? I feel like, honestly, for wide receivers, it never really is. They're the divas of the sport. It's got to be about all of it. They got to be catered to. Um, that's a complicated question. It has a lot to do with the team, structure, organization, and rolling with Tom Brady is of course about winning championships. But I think he has 6 for a reason. I feel like he's going to amend it. He's going to get on the phone with AB. The scary part is just coach saying he's done. He's not a part of this organization anymore, and just cut the script and they're moving on. I I really don't know. I don't think it's ever going to be about winning championships for AB. I don't think that's his perspective on the sport and what he's there to do. Because he pretty much was like, forget the toxic environment. I'm my peace is more important to me because that's what I'm thinking. The whole reason why he's walking away is like, if I'm not going to be valued here and treated right, I'm not going to continue to sit here and suffer. I've been through this already. Good.
So I don't think it's ever a point where it's more than, well, of course it is. The point in which is more than where it's going to be bigger than the money is at the point in which it's going to be, which there's going to be where it's going to be affecting the bottom dollar. Like if they figure AB is going to be a problem and it's going to hurt sponsorships and partnerships, and it doesn't line up with the things that other organizations that they're aligned with aren't conducive to their brand, then that's when they're going to start having a situation. So of course, like you was just saying, Ron, it's that is at the point which I think it'll become a serious problem to where now you're looking at like nah, we're good. Let's keep it moving. At the same time, AB is a brand in himself, so I mean he has the opportunity, he has all the rights to basically be like I'm good as well, especially as a free agent, in which those things were how things are basically constructed in the NFL. So you know what I'm saying. So hopefully, what I'm saying, when everything starts to come out, we'll be able to get a better understanding and we'll be able to revisit this topic again.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to throw in there, I know you're about to move on, is that we
Yes.
often automatically go with the organization. And when these issues come out, and I'm happy we actually are slowing down or waiting to analyze and see what's going on. But I swear, just like a couple weeks ago, wasn't Josh Gordon getting another offer to come play in the league? I heard Aaron Rodgers got off the phone with AB last night and was like, Green Bay.
Hey, I would have doubted, man. You
Oh,
never know. Can you imagine that Aaron Rodgers and AB? I mean, but it
oh
always
my
comes
God.
down to that situation to where it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying, who is able to control him, unfortunately, and that sounds so very overseerish, and I don't want, you know what I'm saying, because you know there's a moniker or there's a stigma that there's a lot of slavery type vibes when it comes down to that. But hey,
Jerry Jones said it. You got to keep the prisoners of the asylum under control.
He has said that. He has said that. Jerry Jones has said that. He has said that. That's yeah. Jerry has put that out there before.
so before we move on to that, so Ron, 8 years U.S. Air Force. What are you doing in the Air Force, bro?
I came in right out of high school, 2010, and I just got out recently, 2019, almost
Okay.
9. I got to the point they know once you get to that 10-year mark, they start saying, "Hey, this gonna be your career. You're gonna put in this 20. Is it time to do
Sounds so familiar.
It
yeah?"
does.
Kind of finished up my bachelor's degree, so I was excited about that. I tried to become an officer, that didn't work out, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time to just set myself free and let my butterfly wings flap and see what I can do. And it was hard.
I can imagine.
Bishop, why don't you give the people a little spectrum of what your career is like, fam?
Yeah, so for those that don't know me, I'm Sean Bishop Davis. I did 21 years in the Army. My colleague right there, he gave me a little extra years.
My
But
fault.
it
My
was
fault.
but it was 21 years in the Army. Who retired back in 2013. Myself and of course Trey, we served together at one of the main duty stations of Fort Hood. I had a great career in the Army. I wouldn't change anything in which I had done after 21 years in retirement. I'm proud and thankful that God let me see it. We know there was so many out there that, paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country. I do appreciate you, Ron, as well as Trey, for serving our great country, because a lot of people don't choose to do so. But for those that do, I definitely appreciate for what y'all have done for our country and the sacrifices of which you made to protect our country and our people. But yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell, man.
Greatly appreciate both y'all services. So going ahead and moving on. what we have, of course, let's start off where we initially started off with the Buccaneers yesterday. Who were they? The Buccaneers and the Jets. Like, so did y'all just think automatically that this was a in the bag game? Tampa Bay was going to go out, run roughshod over the New York Jets, and then they called it a day.
I'll let Ron go first on that one. What's
Go
up,
ahead, Ron.
Key? What's up, Andrade?
I honestly like the Jets. A couple weeks back, I forgot who they surprised, and their coach came out and said, we're the type of team that has a lot of talent, but we're young. So sometimes we're going to be playing out of our mind and put together a good game. And some days we're going to look like we don't got it all together. And they showed, I thought they was about to upset Tampa Bay. I was very shocked to see Tom Brady. I missed the ending of the game. Tom Brady brought them boys back. And looking at the players he used, Cameron Brate, 4-yard pass touchdown, Cyril Grayson, 33-yard pass completion from TB. And it's like, Antonio Brown, you might really not even be needed around here. We got
Facts. Well, we do know the Jets. They had some close games. They won last week against the Jaguars, and then they gave Miami a close game the week before that in week 16. The Dolphins won 31-24 over the Jets in Miami. So the Jets, the Jets are the Jets, but the Jets is just that team, man. You just never know. It's like they're that team who's bad every season. But it's that team that will not allow themselves to go winless. They will not allow themselves to go winless through the season. They're gonna scrounge a win from somewhere. And I'm like you, Ron. When I saw, because I was watching the what game was I watching at first?
Probably the Philly game.
No, actually, I wasn't watching the Philly game because it wasn't showing here.
Oh, okay.
I was watching it was some game I was watching before that. I forget who it was, but I was watching some game and I saw it. I saw the game. I saw that the Tampa Bay Bucks was down. I was like, whoa, to the Jets. Wow. I was like, wow. But then I seen that they came back and, the GOAT did what he does. That's why they called him the GOAT, man. He has that title and that label for a reason. That man has been able to do things that just unfathomable, that you just don't expect a quarterback at the age of 44 to do. You know what I'm saying? You just don't expect him to be able to do those type of things. And so, but yeah, to my surprise, yes, I was surprised that the Jets were up. But again, Tom Brady did what he does and came through and got that win for him.
And see, yesterday you had, of course, Tom Brady 34 for 50, 410 yards with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Gronk 7 receptions for 115 yards. Do you guys think that Gronk's production with the 115 yards, of course, Grayson 6 receptions, 81 yards? Do you think that their production was more conducive to the fact of Tampa Bay was lacking the run game? Because you had Keyshawn Vaughn, eight carries, 31 yards, Ronald Jones, 10 carries for 26 yards, and Le'Veon Bell, 3 carries for 5 yards.
Well, I will definitely say they definitely missing Leonard Fournette. Fournette is definitely a key role, key player within that organization. Without Leonard Fournette, it does make their game planning a little different because of course those 3 running backs in which you spoke of are definitely not a Leonard Fournette, and so they're not bringing that type of game to the field like Leonard Fournette is. So I do charge the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of being able to get past all of the things in which they had the adversity in which they have to get through. Not only not having Leonard Fournette, your leading rusher, but also what we just spoke about, Antonio Brown leaving and stuff like that. And so I don't know. I definitely feel like they had to kind of game plan around what they had and try and make things happen to still solidify a win and still make a run for another championship.
There you go with that blasphemous talk. Ron, what you got to say about that?
Are they not making a run? I mean, can you say that's not true?
No, it's not true.
Oh my God. Here he go.
It's blasphemous. So like you saying, of course, truth be told, that's what they are doing. They are making a run. I don't think this, me personally, I don't think this is their their year. I mean, but of course, when you have someone like Tom Brady, just as people speak of Aaron Rodgers, that bad man as they call him, you have to be weary and kind of keep it basically watch out and keep an eye on them. So let's move on. New Orleans, who that nation? Who that nation basically have robbed me of a solidified position in the playoffs. But I mean, that's what it is. It is what it is. Yesterday, Sam Darnold came back 17-20 of 26, 132 yards, no touchdowns, one interception. Of course, they lost 18-10 to the Saints, who Taysom Hill, 17 of 28 for 222 yards, one touchdown, 12 carries for 45 yards. Alvin Kamara, 13 carries for 32 yards. At any point, Ron, I asked you this, at any point, did you think that the Carolina Panthers were going to eliminate the New Orleans Saints from the playoff picture?
Not at all. It's a tragedy what happened to the Carolina Panthers. Them boys was 5-5 at one point. I was like, they might make the playoffs. They lost like 6 games straight.
So Bishop, because Ron seemed to be clear cut, like, we're not going to even play with this one, Trey.
Yeah.
Bishop, what is the reason for this? With him saying that, is that a clear cut answer to say relying clearly on Christian McCaffrey seemingly is was the reason for the debacle with the Rams, or I mean, with correction with the with Carolina, or is it to say that Sam Darnold and Cam Newton are not the answer at quarterback?
So that's kind of hard for me to say, man, because Cam Newton definitely don't look like he's the answer, and I'm sure that's why they initially released Cam Newton in the first place, is because he wasn't the answer in Carolina no more anyhow. So with that being said, I don't know if Sam Darnold's the answer either. The way he's playing and the way their record shows, he may not be the answer either. I know a lot of people are feeling like Sam Darnold, they expect a lot from him because, but this is his first year in Carolina. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you got to give him an opportunity to kind of get his feet wet more, kind of get more comfortable within the the game plan of the Carolina organization. So I wouldn't throw Darnold out to the wolves just as of yet, because it was his first season with him. However, he's definitely on the hot seat. He's definitely gonna have to show some improvement in the offseason. As far as Cam, I'm sure they kept him? Is he still there, or did they get rid of him?
No, Cam's still there. He was on the sideline.
Oh, okay. No, I thought they might have got rid of him this morning or whatever, but which is surprising. I'm surprised, to be honest with you. I'm real surprised. Cam is still in Carolina, to be honest with you. The way he has been playing since he's been back with the organization. But Sam Darnold, I just think after this upcoming off season and the additions in which they may add and things of that nature, build up that offensive line. And get a McCaffrey healthier, because that was key too. McCaffrey being hurt the majority of the season, in and out of the lineup and stuff like that, was really detrimental to the Panthers organization, because I feel like they really lean on McCaffrey a lot. And being that he wasn't able to be on the field as much as they probably wanted him to be, or as much as he wanted to be, I feel like that was, the Panthers' huge downfall. Not saying he's the whole team, however, he is a big part of that org. So, I wouldn't throw Sam out quite yet.
Okay, so as I was saying, of course, New Orleans Saints are still currently in the hunt. I know a little later, we're going to talk about the playoff picture, but they are currently still in the hunt, tussling with San Francisco for the last spot in the NFC playoffs. So we'll move on. Bishop, fly high, soaring with them Eagles, baby.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Last night, them darn that bad man solidified those Eagles in that wild card playoff spot, baby. Let's go. I told you, man. We ain't out this thing, man. I told y'all, man. Told y'all,
Jalen
man.
Hurts 17 for 26, 214 yards. Boston Scott added 14 carries, 47 yards. Jalen Hurts 7 carries, 44 yards himself. I would be honest. I was skeptical, right? I really was skeptical on if I had to sit up and make a pick, the Eagles in Washington and my money, and I had to sit up and spend money, I would have strayed away from this game. I just wasn't
Oh yeah,
sure. I thought
yeah.
I just figured that Heineke was going to basically do some damage. You know what I'm saying? He had a rough go of things last week against the Cowboys. But he came out 27 to 36, 247 yards, no touchdown. What was your recipe for success, Bishop?
What our recipe has been for all season, man, is we have to. I feel like Nick Sirianni we have to run the ball, man, to be successful with this with the team of players in which we have, or the Eagles organization. We have to solidify our run game. And even though Scott didn't have a whole lot of yards rushing, it's still going to open up the passing game. And I feel like that's something that Nick Sirianni wasn't trying to do in the beginning of the season. And since he started trying to run the ball a bit more with later on in the season, late in the season, we've learned to we've had an opportunity to win more games. And that's how now we're in the playoff picture as a wild card. So that was key for us. You know what I'm saying? Our defense was kind of, was doing pretty good, was keeping us in a lot of games. But yes, I agree with you, Will. Sirianni finally got it right with the running game. I totally agree with you 100%. The thing is, I just feel like our secondary was kind of suspect, but it seemed like toward the late part of the season they starting to figure it out, which is good. We do start off slow. We can't start off slow. We need to stop starting off slow. You're right, Mr. Williams. But that's just how it's been playing out. So man, shouts out for my Eagles, man. We and Jalen Hurts, because a lot of people be giving Jalen Hurts a bad rep, man, and don't want to give that man no justice, man. But let that man be great, man. Let that man be great.
Ron, are you picking up what he's putting down? Are you believing this talk that the running game is that they have a running game now that's going to be able to get through or float them through the playoffs?
Man, I rep the Dirty Birds hard.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. I knew I like Ron, man. That's a good dude right there, bro.
To Washington, and it seemed like all of Philly came on the road with him. They was going nuts at the end of the game. They falling out the stands.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, oh, it's going nuts over there. Yes. I'm getting New York Giants 2011, 2007, really underdog runs. If the Eagles end up in the NFC Championship game, I won't be shocked at all.
That's what I'm talking. Man, I like this dude, man. Ron is my dude, man. Ron, you come on here any day, man. I like this dude, bro. Let's go.
They have had a cupcake schedule. I will acknowledge that. Washington, the Giants, the Jets, but you play who they put on the schedule, and they
That's right.
Business. They in the playoffs, and they ready to shake some things up. I think we'll really get to see a lot about the Eagles going into the playoff run next week against the Cowboys, because they got embarrassed a couple weeks ago, 44-20. Let's see. They got to beat the Cowboys. They beat the Cowboys. I may come back on here and say Eagles is going to the Super Bowl.
What?
Ooh,
is that?
I love it.
Our first hot take. That's what we got going on.
I love it. Let's go. Y'all know they moved the game to Saturday. That game with the Cowboys is now Saturday instead of Sunday.
Yeah,
they moved that game so
because they flexed it for the Raiders and Chargers.
Oh, okay. Is that why they did it? I didn't know why they did it.
Well, I know that's one of the flexes that was the Raiders and Chargers, because the Raiders, that's going to determine the potentially the last last playoff spot. Yeah. So speaking of Raiders and Chargers, of course, that's a AFC West matchup where we have the Kansas City Chiefs played the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday, with the Chiefs taking the L 34-31. Fellas, did y'all see this coming? Did y'all see the Chiefs with an opportunity to clinch I think a number one seed? No, they couldn't get the number one seed because
Green
The
Bay.
Titans won.
I mean,
Well,
Titans.
the Titans won. Well, chance to clinch their conference, and well, I think they clinched the conference. Did y'all just see this happening? Did you fathom that the Cincinnati Bengals, especially when they were up 28-7, did y'all see this happening?
I'm gonna let Ron get that first.
The Chiefs got held to 3 points, and the second.
Agreed, Will.
I think this is more of the Chiefs overconfidence syndrome. They get that switch. They do have that championship switch. They can play to the level of their competitors. It feels like they went into the locker room and kind of was just looking on the next week. I mean, Joe Burrow came out and said it himself. Y'all saw the meme. Jamar Chase is down there open somewhere. Let me just throw it up and see what happens. Somebody already on here said, yeah, Jamar Chase is the problem. So they got hot. They shook it up. If you're gonna beat the Chiefs, it's their AFC. You're gonna have to be able to put some points. And Burrow just pretty much put us all on notice that we gonna be take it up. Don't count us out. That's it. They're not gonna beat the Chiefs. I'll give a prediction for the game. I guess is that the AFC championship favorite?
Who, the Chiefs?
Chiefs and the Bengals. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
So Ron, let me make sure I get this right. Are you saying that the Chiefs is probably the team to watch in the AFC to represent their conference in the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, I will bet the mortgage that they are going to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Don't believe in the Chargers, don't believe in the Colts, don't believe in the Titans. Maybe
So you're trying to see the Chiefs versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl, basically. The Bengals and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. What you're saying to me?
If I had to pick a team, I would want to see the Patriots go. I want to see Brady versus Bill. That would be insane.
Bishop, was this more of a situation in which the Patriots? The Chiefs lost, or Cincinnati imposed their will and showed that they are forced to be reckoned with in the AFC and the NFL?
Joe Burrow did his thing, man. You can't take nothing from him, man. I wasn't so much on Joe Burrow when he came out of LSU and came to was drafted in NFL to Cincinnati. I was not sold on Joe Burrow, but now I have to say, man, that boy can ball. He can actually ball. He is balling out, and with the weapon of Jamar Chase, bruh, that is finna be a future tandem, bro.
Yeah,
them two together, bro. They are problems. They are problems. Like he's like them two are like Patrick Mahomes and
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill are
Kelsey.
No, more like Tyreek Hill. Like you said it right at first, because the connection that they have together, him and Jamar Chase, is ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. And when they hitting on all cylinders, Cincinnati is a force to be reckoned with, man. So Kansas City, them losing, like you said earlier, Trey, if I was a betting man and I had to, and this was a game that needed to be betted on, I would have left this game alone. Because I couldn't have, I wouldn't have picked, even though I knew Kansas City was on that win streak. I felt like everybody, just like someone said, I think it was Will down and below, said KC's defense is suspect. It's been suspect, but KC's defense been suspect for years, even when they won the Super Bowl. Like I've said many times before, when it comes to KC playing Kansas City, it's not about stopping their offense. It's about putting up more points than their offense, because Kansas City defense has never been a great defense. It was just that their offense was high powered and they could score points. So you had to just score more points than their offense did, basically. So I mean, I knew Cincinnati had a great team. I knew they a good team. I wouldn't call them great, but they do have a real good team. And I knew Joe Burrow was playing great ball, and with Jamar Chase and all of that, and Joe Mixon in the backfield, they clicking. They clicking on all cylinders. So
Joe Burrow yesterday, 30 for 39, 446 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 11 receptions, 266 yards,
come on,
3
bro.
touchdowns. So, tell me this. So we giving them the flowers right now. But what if one of those two were to go down, are we feeling the same way about the Cincinnati Bengals?
Of course not.
Okay.
Of course not. If Joe Burrow goes down or Jamar Chase goes down, either one of them goes down, and God forbid that happens, we definitely not making the same conversation with with the Cincinnati Bengals. We definitely not making the same conversation because those two are definitely premier players within that org. And if one goes down, I feel like, if Chase went down, Joe Burrow would still be doing his thing. He just wouldn't have that huge target in Jamar Chase. But if Joe Burrow goes down, yeah, nah. We saw it last year when Joe Burrow went down. We saw what the Cincinnati Bengals did when he went down last year. So yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
You agree, Ron, or no? You disagree with that?
Yep, I'm on the same page. But our Chase takes the ceiling off the roof on that when he's running down. I was mad at the Bengals when they drafted him. There you go, 5th. And I was like, y'all know y'all need a lineman to protect Burrow. But 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. I'm gonna just be quiet.
So it's a clear assumption that y'all both have Jamar Chase offensive rookie. Offensive rookie of the year.
Without question.
It's gotta be Mac Jones.
No, really?
He's
landslide
on expectations. Wins.
Really? Ooh, I feel where you're coming from, Ron. Don't get me wrong. I totally get where you're coming from because Mac Jones has been balling out. Don't get me wrong. But Jamar Chase, bro, like this dude is like, he's killing it. And it's hard when it comes to, because, Joe Burrow is giving him the ball. So it's hard for a wide receiver to win offensive player of the year over a quarterback. Because you know what I'm saying, it's very hard. But man, I will say I feel it's like a neck and neck race between the two, and I'm giving a slight edge to Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
slight edge.
So yesterday, moving forth, some more playoff implications. The Indianapolis Colts faced up against the Las Vegas Raiders, in which both of them were in state. The Colts lose 23-20. Now they're both tied with a 9-7 record, which the Las Vegas Raiders have an opportunity to kind of control their own destiny to get into. Fellas, yesterday, Derek Carr, 24 for 31 for 255 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. But what I really want to talk about, in which I think this guy deserves.
You better not do it, Trey.
I'm just saying, no. So this is it's not anything like that. I'm just saying, I think Hunter Renfrow deserves to be talked about. I'm just saying he deserves to be spoken about as the receiver. Like basically that's Carr's go-to man. Hunter, he gets kind of like put him on his back, even though the numbers, you would think the numbers don't say so, but he has been instrumental in the Raiders coming back 3 games with a 3-game win streak, in which now has kind of put them in position to still get into the playoffs. Do y'all believe differently? There's no flowers for Hunter Renfrow right now?
Hunter Renfrow, he's balling. He's balling.
76.
Excuse me. He's definitely balling. Hunter Renfrow is definitely balling. So is Carr. Carr is playing phenomenal ball, man. He is. He's doing real well with the Raiders, despite the fact that the debacle and what's going on with their, they got an intern coach and stuff like that, and all the distractions in which the Raiders have had because of the coaching staff and stuff like that. And he's been able to keep his head leveled and been able to make it happen. So I totally agree. Spotlight, what's good, man? What's up, man? He should be in the Pro Bowl. I totally agree. Carr should make Pro Bowl because he's playing great ball, man, out there in Las Vegas. They got a huge win against the Colts, which I was so happy because y'all know I can't stand Carson Wentz. So I was happy.
We gonna talk about that since I got 2
I'm so happy to see them Raiders do them boys in because I don't like Carson Wentz. So yeah, I was so ecstatic that they got that.
Appreciate it, Spot.
That's big win over the Colts. So yeah, I'm with it.
So, like he was just saying, you're not, your disdain for Mr. Wentz, but in saying that, Carson Wentz yesterday, 16 for 27, one touchdown, 148 yards. They didn't get the win, which was interesting because I just thought that Jonathan Taylor was going to put up huge numbers. He had 20 carries, 108 yards yesterday. Do you think that this win was more of a situation in which they put a cap on that man that we know is John Taylor, or was it the dismal showing of Carson Wentz and not be able to get the ball to his receivers to put points on the board? I'll start off with you, Ron.
I'm not gonna hate on Hunter to start my rant because I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna bring up the first thing that comes to my mind when we talk about white receivers. The Raiders was down 17-13.
They were.
Quarter. Derek Carr and that boy drove all the way down the field, 4th and 2 at the 10-yard line. They connected, got the lead, clinched the game with the field goal. Shout out to the Raiders. They looked very impressive, especially when you think about how horrendous this year has been for them. I'm proud. I'm proud of them boys. I'm looking forward to Derek Carr going down to New Orleans Saints and reshaping his career. But this is probably the last highlight of their season.
Ended
They ended it on a good note.
Okay. I like it.
Okay, so would y'all say that this is opportunity? Can the Las Vegas Raiders make noise in the playoffs if they can get in, or is that just a basically one and done if they get in? Kudos, participation. They're not getting in. It's a wrap.
They're not. Who they got next week?
The Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, they play for the last spot. Wait, Josh Herbo's making sure we're gonna get that done. He's not losing to the Raiders.
Oh, bold prediction. He's saying it. Josh, Herbert. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. I think they playing at home. I think they playing in
and in LA. Las Vegas.
They in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, they in Vegas. Yeah. Oh, it's a late game too.
Yeah, it's a flex. I told you it's a flex game. They flexed it. It's a Sunday night game.
Yeah.
For the end of the season.
Yeah. I don't know. That's gonna be in Vegas. Man, yeah. I mean, Justin gonna have to do what he got to do, man, on the road to get that game, to get that win. That should be a good one. I don't know.
So one of the last games we'll cover for this week, just basically for this week as we move on to other NFL topics. Green Bay knocks off the Minnesota Vikings 37-10.
That's not a surprise.
With Aaron Rodgers was 29 for 38 with 288 yards for 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, leading rusher, 8 carries to 76 with A.J. Dillon, not too shabby himself, 14 carries for 63 yards. Devontae Adams, 11 receptions, 136 yards. Next closest man was Allen Lazard with 6 receptions, 72 yards. Bishop, you just said that wasn't a surprise. Are you saying that this should have just, it was without a reasonable doubt, it was bound to happen?
But I mean, most definitely. I mean, come on, Aaron Rodgers, he is a bad man. Outside of Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers got the GO so far. He just got to get the AT. He got the GO. He just got to get the AT. He working on it though. He working on it. But he got the GO. He got to go. But the thing about Aaron Rodgers is he's already put out to everyone that despite whatever happens with the Packers, whether they make the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, so forth and so on, which they really have a good chance, he's going to make a decision very soon after the season is over on whether he's staying in staying in Green Bay, or if he's going elsewhere. So, yeah, but Minnesota just ain't quite there yet, man. They're just missing some key elements to get them over the hump, in my opinion. I feel like they Dalvin Cook is doing as much as he can to try and carry this team into the playoffs and try and get them, where they need to be to make it to the big game. But it's not panning out, man. It's not panning out.
And do you mean a quarterback that can actually perform in primetime games?
Say that again, Ron. What'd you say?
Yeah, by missing something, you mean a quarterback that can actually
That might be it. I wasn't gonna say that, but okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, it is. It is. We all know, man. What's his name?
So let's keep in mind, Kurt. All right, so let me ask this question: if Kirk Cousins was there yesterday, could this have been a different game? Sean Mannion was 22 for 36, 189 yards with 1 touchdown. Kellen Mond 2 for 3 with 5 yards. Dalvin Cook 9 carries for 13 yards. He was outrushed by Sean Mannion in 2 carries for 14 yards. Justin Jefferson, of course, 6 receptions, 58 yards. So, do you think this was more of a situation of that there wasn't a full roster of the usual players for Minnesota, or this would have happened regardless when that bad man came to town?
This would have happened regardless whether Kirk Cousins was there. Now, don't get it twisted, because it's still that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, on the opposite side of the field of him. Don't get me wrong. Now, would it made it to a closer game or a better game overall? Maybe. However, that might have just fueled Aaron Rodgers, that bad man, to even put up more points. I'm just saying, the man is a beast, man. I mean, really, when y'all really sit down and look at it and think about it, after Tom Brady, who's next? Is there even a question in anybody's mind after Tom Brady, who's the next best quarterback in the NFL?
Rodgers, then Mahomes.
There we go. I think that's hands down. That's everybody. I think that's hands down everybody, except for those Dallas fans who feel like Dak Prescott is the man, which we just seen what he truly done yesterday. So, yeah, we're going to leave it at that. But, yeah, I got to throw in them Dallas haters.
So, let's speak about that right quick, because I completely forgot about the Dallas Cowboy game. I want to give an opportunity.
I did not watch that whole game. I didn't.
So, now, I can feel the OU bias coming through my computer screen. So, now, Kyler Murray is what, 9-0 in AT&T. Yes, he's 9-0. Yesterday, 20 with five championships in that stadium as a high schooler, 2 as a college player, and now 2 as a professional player. He was 26 and 38 for 263 yards, 2 touchdowns. Was this? Did Dak messes up from what I'm hearing from you, Bishop? Or okay, so
Dak didn't lose this game for them. And let me talk to these folks real quick, man. Y'all give me a second. So real quick, right? I need all you Dallas fans to stop it. And when I say stop it, I'm saying stop with the nonsense in regards to y'all always want to blame the refs. Every Dallas fan, that's why I don't like Dallas fans, because they always want to blame the refs. The refs lost this game for us. The ref lost this game for us. Y'all blame the refs for everything. Stop it. Y'all lost that game yesterday because 1, bad decisions, 2, penalties, and 3, y'all not that good. Dallas is who we thought they were. Dallas, everybody was riding the Dallas bandwagon, especially the Dallas fans, because they won the last 5 games. When you look at the last 5 games in which they played, every single quarterback that they faced was either a second or third stringer. They didn't play nobody, man. They beating up on high school teams and thought they should get some props for that. Not on my watch. When y'all faced a good team, I told y'all, just like I said, when Dallas faced a good team, they're going to lose. And that's exactly what happened. Now, could they have won that game? Yes, they could have won that game yesterday against Arizona. But there was a time in which oh boy, what's his name? I can't even think about it. The running back fumbled the ball, and because Dallas didn't have any more timeouts, they couldn't challenge that fumble. It was clearly a fumble. It was, but Dallas didn't have any more timeouts.
Chase
so without
Edmonds.
any timeout, without timeouts, you can't challenge. And because of that, and that's why you Dallas fans stop blaming the refs, because the refs had nothing to do with y'all not having any timeouts. That was y'all coaching. If you had timeouts, you'd have been able to y'all have been able to challenge that call, and y'all would have got the ball because it was clearly a fumble. So it is what it is. Dallas did what they did. They lost, just like I said they would, and I knew they would.
So with that loss,
Shout out to Kyler Murray, them Boomer Sooners, baby, let go.
and we'll get to that soon because I owe Bishop an apology, which
You
I'll
do.
give in a
I
little bit.
I won't let you forget.
So with that loss, the Cowboys went from the 2nd seed potentially to the 4th seed in the NFC playoffs. Ron, do you find everything in which Bishop said to have validity to it, or is he just basically a OU bias being played?
No, Cowboys is overrated. I'm sitting here thinking, man, it's going to be shocking when the Cowboys is going home in the first round of the playoffs and the Eagles is playing in the 2nd round. Ain't that ironic?
Boy, say it, Ron. Say it, dog. Say that. Woo! Boy, y'all ain't gonna never be able to hear me. Boy, I ain't gonna never shut up after. If we make it to the 2nd round and the Cowboys get bounced out the first, oh, bro, I'm going to Cowboys' houses. About to, man, it's about to be a wrap.
It's looking like be a rematch between the Cardinals. And I think overall, despite the fact that we acknowledge Dak didn't lose the game, the Cowboys is just a less competitive team than the Cardinals. It wasn't even close. Like Kyler Murray is going to make sure that gets handled and taken care of.
And then he didn't even have his key weapon. He didn't even have his. That's the key. One thing is he didn't have
Hopkins.
He didn't have Hopkins. So being that he didn't have Hop, man, if he'd had Hop, I think that game would have been totally different. Totally different. Don't get me wrong. Kirk and them is good. Don't get me Ertz and all of them, they're good. But when you got B Hop out there, bro, it's a different ball game. And for all you Dallas fans, man, y'all was all caught up on on Suggs, right? Yeah, you see Suggs didn't get an interception yesterday. Y'all saw that, right? Y'all all these Suggs fans, you see he didn't get an interception yesterday, but you did see that his tail got burnt. He got toasty. He got toasted. He got toasted. And just for you Cowboy fans, that's all on Suggs, sack.
Diggs.
I mean, I keep saying Suggs. I meant Diggs. All on his Diggs. Man, I'm telling you, he's allowed 1,000 yards receiving on his side. 1,000 yards. Yeah, we know he got 11 interceptions? What he got? 11?
Yeah, 11 interceptions. I think it's 11.
Take nothing from him. Boy's bad. But that one play when Kyler Murray, boy, did that stop and go on him. Whoo.
It was matter of fact, it was your man. Shout out
Green, AJ Green.
Yeah, AJ Green, yeah.
AJ Green, he did that stop and go, and you saw Diggs. He wanted to bite on it because he's so hungry for that interception. He's so hungry for it. He wanted bad, and he bit. And boy, Kyler Murray just had to lay it out a little more, and AJ Green would have got a touchdown. So y'all can get off Diggs, man. Diggs is good. I ain't gonna lie. He probably gonna win Defensive Player of the Year.
You think
Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year.
No, he's not a rookie. He's not a rookie. He's 2nd year.
It is his 2nd year. Yeah. He probably gonna get Defensive Player of the Year. He probably will. He probably get that. He probably
interesting.
Will. He leading in interceptions. It's hard not to give it to him, bro.
Yeah, but there's other people that's doing things, bigger things.
Nah, he's not even the best defender on his team. I disagree.
Who you think is you think it's
Parsons?
Who?
Parsons is a better defender.
Parsons, yeah. Yeah, it could.
So moving on, let's take a real quick at the snapshot currently of what we have for the playoff picture. Of course, in the AFC, you have the Tennessee Titans are the number 1 seed, which means they would get a bye if the playoffs were to start today. Followed up by the Kansas City Chiefs, Cincinnati Bengals at 3, Buffalo Bills at 4, New England Patriots at the 5th spot, with the Indianapolis Colts 6 and the Los Angeles Chargers coming up the rear in 7th. Currently, what we have in the hunt is the Las Vegas Raiders, as we discussed earlier, who we did not talk about because they have a game tonight. The Pittsburgh Steelers still have an opportunity. The Baltimore Dolphins were eliminated, and interestingly enough, the Baltimore Ravens still have a chance. Ron, do you foresee any of the in-hunt teams being able to get our opportunity to be in the playoffs?
It's mind blowing that Lamar Jackson is not going to be playing in the playoffs this year. It's honestly heartbreaking. I'm laughing at the Cleveland Browns dog pound. They are hilarious. But the biggest shock, Tennessee Titans is in first place. Are we going to get some Derrick Henry in the playoffs? Y'all think he's going to make it back?
I hope so, bro.
He's looking very promising for him right now.
I do. And being that they clinched the division too, I hope so. I do.
Oh,
I mean, you got to take your hats off to Tennessee for being able to still go 11-5 and make the playoffs with their leading rusher being.
We let them off the hook. You got
to give them their props, man. A lot of people thought Tennessee was going to falter because of Derrick Henry. A lot of people didn't see Tennessee, and I believed in Tennessee. I did, even though Derrick Henry went down. I still believe Tennessee had enough firepower to still make the playoffs, and they proved me right. I did. I felt like Tennessee was still going to. A lot of people didn't think they was going to make it because of Derrick Henry going down, but he did it. They still did it. So I'm not mad at them, man. I give them mad props for that. They made it happen.
In the NFC, of course, as we discussed, that bad man Aaron Rodgers has the Green Bay Packers as the number 1 seed. Los Angeles Rams are currently the 2nd seed. The 3rd seed, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As we discussed, the Dallas Cowboys are currently the 4th seed.
Mm-hmm.
The Arizona Cardinals are the 5th seed. Number 6, the 49ers, barely holding on. And the Philadelphia Eagles somehow, some way, as the 7th seed. In the hunt, we have the New Orleans Saints that basically can make or break San Francisco if we were to lose and they were to win. And we got a hard slate against the Los Angeles Rams. Bishop, does San Francisco get in this week?
No, they do not.
At ease.
Yeah, no. Ain't no at ease at that. No. Carry on. No, carry on. They do not get in. They do. Man, y'all don't like. Is Garoppolo gonna come back? Because y'all not finna do it. Y'all not finna do it with old boy.
You don't think Trey Lance has an opportunity to put us in the playoffs?
No, he's not ready. He's not ready, bro. Y'all unless Garoppolo. If Garoppolo comes back, y'all may have an opportunity. But y'all playing the Rams, ain't you?
We beat the Rams. We smacked the Rams, as a matter of fact.
Did y'all smack them while Von Miller was on the field?
Yes.
Von Miller was playing when y'all played him?
Him and Odell was playing when we played them.
Oh, but Odell, that was when
Put some respect on our names.
Hey, but that was when Odell had just got there. Don't worry about it. Odell started.
He was still there.
Cooper
Kupp was there.
Oh yeah, but there's a difference now. When Odell, he getting comfortable in his seat now. It's starting to form around him. Oh, did you see the catch Odell made yesterday? Bro, the man is sure hands. I'm telling y'all not no. So what you're telling me, Trey, is that you actually feel like y'all finna beat the Rams? Where y'all playing at? Are y'all playing at home or are y'all playing in LA?
In LA, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, it is home still. It's still like home, regardless. But
you can't forget the revenge factor from what y'all did to the Rams a couple weeks ago.
Facts.
Good for y'all.
Facts. And I feel like Matthew is out for revenge.
He might be. It's cool. But we still have our opportunity. Do y'all think the New Orleans Saints can beat the Atlanta Falcons?
They should. It shouldn't be in question. They should beat the Atlanta Falcons. But the way this season been playing out, man, Atlanta ended up winning 7 games after starting off a horrible season. They ended up winning 7 games. And the Saints are 8-8. So they'll end up being tied. To be honest, they'll be 8 or 9. No, they won't be tied. No,
I appreciate you, Key. Thank you, sir. Shout out to Key.
Anywho, back to what I was saying, the Saints should beat Atlanta, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Atlanta, I mean, the Saints just having problems with. They got to figure out their quarterbacking situation, man. To be honest.
So we'll go ahead and move on from this this conversation because I can't believe I'm appalled by the what has just been said.
You don't even know Paul.
Moving on, still in the NFL. This week, the finalists for the Hall of Fame was announced. Of course, we had Jared Allen in order. I mean, in alphabetical order. Jared Allen, second time as a finalist. Willie Anderson, Rondé Barber, Tony Baselli, Cliff Branch, second time as a finalist. Leroy Butler, Devin Hester, Torrey Holt, third time as a finalist. Andre Johnson. Oh, here we go with that again. Art McNally, Sam Mills, third time as a finalist. Richard Seymour, Zach Thomas, third time as a finalist. Dick Vermeil, DeMarcus Ware, Reggie Wayne, Patrick Willis, and Bryant Young. Gentlemen, I ask you this, Ron. Who is a key first time balloter, or just first? Who's going to give me 5 finalists off this list that you think, without a doubt, there's no question they're going to get in?
First of all, it is disgusting what they did to Steve Smith, my favorite wide receiver growing up. I don't know if Devin Hester made. I don't know how any of them wide receivers made it over him.
Well, we know why Devin Hester made it. Let's be real.
We do.
Because he's the only player to ever have 100 speed on Madden.
Yeah.
I love Torrey Holt. I think you said this is his third time trying to get in.
Third as a finalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah, he deserves it. The Colts, what was that? Reggie Wayne, right? He made it.
Third time as a finalist as well.
He deserves it.
That Devin Hester spot. This is his first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he just played. Yeah, he just probably just made 5 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All the other dudes, they've been on there for a while. I love Torrey Holt, greatest show on turf. So I'm saluting them, but that Devin Hester spot, that should have been Steve Smith.
He has a valid point, man. He has a valid point. I have to agree with. I definitely feel like Steve Smith should be in there in the conversation. I definitely agree. I do believe Torrey Holt deserved to be there. Reggie Wayne, Devin Hester. I do understand why he's there because he was one of the most.
He has the most
electrifying
returns. He has the most returns of all time.
Yeah, most electrifying returner of all time, outside of Deion Sanders and stuff like that. So I definitely believe Devin Hester. That's mainly, like Trey said, is the reason why he's in there. He's there. But I have to agree with Ron. Yeah, Steve Smith deserves to be in the conversation too. He do. It's a lot, but
is there any first year balloters on here?
What do you mean?
First year that's going to get in first year. First time
that's going to get in
correction. First time balloters that get in. We have Willie Anderson, Devin Hester, Andre Johnson, DeMarcus Ware, Patrick Willis. Any of them get it in?
Patrick Willis might get in. I don't think Devin Hester gonna get in on the first try. Even though he's all the accolades and things in which he's done while in the NFL, I don't think Devin's gonna make it on the first time. I don't. If he does, I'll be surprised.
That Andre Johnson is shocking too, but honestly, I'm rolling with Steve Smith over him too.
Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like Andre, we're not going to get into it, but I feel Andre Johnson is almost the same way as I feel about Calvin Johnson. We're not going to get into that.
Yeah, we're not. We definitely not. We're not going to get into that because he don't feel like just to give you a snippet, Ron, of what he's saying is he don't feel like Calvin Johnson deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And I don't know what type of nonsense somebody like that would say in regards to Calvin Johnson, Megatron. If they give you a nickname, you've earned it, bro. You deserve to be in it. You deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, man. I'm just gonna take it. Devin Hester will make it next year. I totally believe. And where possibly you right. Where I totally agree with that. Yeah, The Hall of Fame, man. Oh, and Matt, first, and without, you can't forget this, man. Made one of the greatest coaches ever in the history of NFL and one of the best broadcasters to ever broadcast a football game, NFL football game. John Madden, John Madden, may he rest in peace, and one of the best video games to ever be put out and be most anticipated, and the best playing game for decades. Made John Madden rest in peace, man, for real.
Absolutely. Rest in peace.
Yes, sir. Not to be also Dan Reeves. He passed over the weekend too.
Oh, that's right. He sure did. Yeah, man. He rested in peace too.
What up, Coach Dante?
What's up, Dante? What up? What up? What up?
All right, fellas. It was a pleasure. Thank y'all for having me on. I gotta roll out.
All right.
All right. Appreciate you coming on, Ron, man. Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Definitely, man. Thank you again for your service.
Yes, absolutely. Same to y'all, fellas.
All right, man. Have a good one. Enjoy your day.
So continue to move on. This weekend, over the course of the weekend, we had a couple of bowl games. Bishop, hold up, let me. I am very forthcoming when I say this, my brother. We always go back and forth when we talk about the Pac-12 versus the Big Ten. The Big 12.
Big 12, yes.
So, opportunity was provided to where the Oregon Ducks faced off against the Oklahoma Sooners, in which I believe the powerful Pac-12 conference was going to be victorious and finish off the decimated Oklahoma team per our newest Pac-12 coach for my USC Trojans, Lincoln Riley. But I did not take in consideration the power of Stoops at head coach, leading to his 11th straight victory for the Oklahoma Sooners, while passing it off to Coach Venables, the new incoming coach for the Oklahoma Sooners. I greatly apologize for the ill-conceived notion for this year stating that the Pac-12 was better than the Big 12. I apologize, my sir. You have the floor.
Thank you, there, Mr. Trey. I appreciate it, man. As you know, Trey, definitely, he hit me up talking about, how Oregon was gonna come in and do all this and all that and so forth and so on. But like he stated, what he failed to realize, and anybody else that thought the Pac-12 was gonna come in and do something, what they failed to realize is we had an intern coach by the name of Bob Stoops, who was the last coach who coached the Oklahoma Sooners to a national championship back in 2000. So with that being said, there was no way in the world we was going to let a Pac-12 team in Oregon to come out here to Texas and San Antonio and get a dub over my beloved Sooners, man. We went in that house and we drugged them boys. Now, mind you, don't get me wrong. They made it a game toward the end. But if you really, really watch the game, which I did, we beat the brakes off them boys. We beat the brakes off them boys. And it was no question, man. We beat the brakes off them boys. And it was no doubt in my mind what we were going to do. No doubt in my mind. As I stated before, the Pac-12 is what they were, what I thought they were, and we showed them exactly what they were. They're not a Big 12 team. They're not a team who can come in here and dominate. They beat up on themselves over in the Pac-12. Y'all little midgets in little pee-wee football team, y'all do that over there. But when you come over here with the big boys, y'all gonna get smacked in the mouth. We're gonna show you what big ball. We're gonna show y'all about big boy ball over here. And that's exactly what we did. Boom! Sooners! As you see, this 2019. I don't even have my other one. The one for the winning of this one of the Alamo Bowl is coming. It's in the mail. Don't worry about it. It's en route. I'm gonna have it on before you know it. Probably by the next show or so. But this is the old one. This is new stuff. I mean, this is not new. This is stuff.
That old thing.
Yeah, this old thing, 2019. You see it right there. It says 19. If y'all can't see, still says what? Big 12 champions football. Yeah, that's what we do, man. That's what we do. We make things happen, and we did that. But I really appreciate you, Trey, for coming on here, being humble, and being able to tell, to apologize to, the great about trying to say that we wasn't gonna do what I obviously knew we was gonna do, and that was to get a big win over a Pac-12 team. Big win, big win.
Say it in the vein with the Pac-12. The Utah number 10 Utah Utes, Pac-12 representative, faced off against the number 7 Ohio State Buckeyes for the Big Ten in a hell of a shootout at the granddaddy of them all, Rose Bowl game, 48-45. Utah took the L. Bishop, was this expected? What was there anything expected or unexpected of this game? Like, did you just think Ohio State, being the dominant team that they are year in year out, was going to just run over the Utah Utes, or did you foresee it was going to be a shootout?
Well, see, this is the thing, right? So, Trey, I totally, and I get Utah's in the Pac-12, right? They in the Pac-12,
Yes,
right?
Pac-12.
Yeah. So, I think a lot of us probably felt like Ohio State was going to go in there and just run the table. Excuse me. But the one thing about the Utah Utes, they have had a good organization, a good team for the past few seasons when it came to football, to be honest with you. So, it wasn't so surprising that Utah came in and made it a game with Ohio State. They did represent the Pac-12 real well. Going up against a Big 10 team like that and doing what they did, made a 48-45 game, coming up a little short. But Utah showed that they can play with big teams. Unlike their, I felt like Ohio State was gonna get the win. And they did. They barely skimmed through and got a win over Utah.
CJ Stroud, 37 for 46, 573 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. The man, Jackson Smith, what's that, Jigba? 15 receptions, 347 yards, 23-yard average, 3 touchdowns.
That boy balled out.
And let's keep in mind, that's their top receivers for Ohio State decided to not play as they wanted to prepare prepare for the NFL draft.
Yeah, they opted out.
Was this just an opportunity? Do you think this was a situation in which Smith took advantage of what was in front of him to put himself on the map, or is this just one of those things in which it shows how Ohio State has superstars in reserve when next man up comes around?
I really believe that Ohio State proved that they have superstars that's sitting waiting in the shadows to show their potential, man. Because that young man, 300 and something yards receiving, bro, that's ridiculous, bro. Like, seriously, like, he came out there and balled out on the biggest stage that he could have done it on. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest stage he could have done, the Rose Bowl. Like, come on, man. Like, that's a huge stage, and that's a bunch of pressure. Marvin Harrison Jr. is pretty good too. He is. Coach Dante. But that's a huge stage, and that's a lot of pressure. And for you to go out there and ball out like you, and again, a lot of people say, well, it was Utah, but Utah is no slouch, man. Utah is no slouch. Like I said, they've had a great organization, a great team, or a good team for the past few seasons. And they came in and did because if I'm not mistaken, Ohio State was down.
Yeah.
Now Ohio State was down in that game and came back to get that win. So that was like, you know what I'm saying? That was just,
man, shouts out to 35-21 at half. 35-21 at the half.
Exactly. So just mad shouts out to that coaching staff, Ohio State, to stay focused on their game plan and come out and adjust the second half and come out with a win on top over a real good team of Utah Utes, man.
So before we get to the semifinals games, which has basically set the table for the national championship in
Mhm.
college football, there were a plethora of players across top players like Pitt's quarterback, and as we discussed, the two receivers from Ohio State deciding to take a seat because they felt like this game wasn't needed, or they didn't need to play this game and take a seat to prep for the NFL draft. What say you about this type of attitude? Do you agree with these players, these student athletes, taking us deciding not to play in games because they're prepping for the NFL draft?
So I have mixed emotions about that, to be honest with you, Trey. Because as a athlete myself, I can understand how, these are young men who have uh dreams of playing in the big leagues, being on, on TV on Sundays, and playing, Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night. So a lot of them people, like, forget what team that was, where the quarterback went out in the very first quarter of that game, and he's a senior,
Mm-hmm.
and he could have opted out, but he chose not to, and ended up getting hurt. So now that may, hurt his draft status, because of the fact that he chose to opt in and play in that game, in that bowl game, which really it wasn't a national championship game, but it is still a bowl game. And we know these universities, if you win bowl games, you bringing money to the university.
Mm-hmm.
So um, and a lot of people want to play the game for the love of the game, and then there's others that want to play to win, and win, of course, go on to win a national championship, or just to win the bowl game. So I don't fault any player that chooses to opt out, because again, when it's all said and done, the big picture is you want to get to the NFL. So the chances of you getting hurt in a bowl game are, probably 50-50 chance. It can happen depending on what position you play, and so forth and so on. So you opting out is a huge decision, a decision in which only you could make. And it's one of those things, is like, it's crazy, because you really don't know. You want to play. A part of you, I know, a part of you wants to play because it's your team. It's a bowl game. But a part of you, man, I got to think about my future. I got to think about what's going to happen for me in the next 5 years. Because again, like I said, if you get hurt, your draft status is going to drop drastically. Your draft, especially depending on what type of injury it is and what position you play. So like that quarterback, I can't think of who it was, who got hurt, but it is what it is, man. You get hurt. Those or you play in. Those are chances in which you take. And I feel sorry for anybody that may have gotten injured during these, or gets injured during these championship bowl games, and isn't able to play, or whatever.
And I can believe what you're talking about. So what I look at it is, uh, you have already used this platform to propel you where you're at now. So like someone said, I don't know who the user is, but the Facebook user said that treat yourself like a business. So of course you decide, like, okay,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go ahead and, like, I have to take this opportunity and see what's, like, it's gonna happen anytime. At the same time, however, in the ways of Bishop, however, comma, you don't play while you're training at a facility going through, you can get an injury there. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or while you're coming down the steps, if you're on the East Coast and the winter storm comes through and you slip down the steps, you can catch an injury there. So at any point you can technically get these injuries, or, you know what I'm saying, with the things that what you're trying to do to protect yourself, so that way you're able to be there for the draft and be seen and continue to rise your stock. But I would think that the game, because oddly enough, who's the Pitt's quarterback? The quarterback, is it Pittman? Not Pittman. The quarterback for the Pittsburgh Panthers, the university.
Ooh.
He's
I
supposed to be
couldn't
one
tell
of
you.
he's supposed to be one of the top quarterbacks. He's not playing in his game, but he's going to play in a post game, even the senior game
Or the
or
Senior Bowl.
yeah. So you know, what I'm saying in these instances, I look at it as you have already used this organization, the institution Pickett. Yes, Pickett.
Pickett. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's already used the institution as your platform to basically put forth your best work is like your portfolio. You've already used them so you can get to showcase your skills and talents, but at the most opportune time for the organization, the unit, I mean for the unit. This is a military show, but for the most optimistic time to sit up and show like, okay, this might be my last game, but let's go out in grand fashion. You decide, and you're probably the best player or one of a few best players. In the case of Pickett, I think he might be their best player, Kenny Pickett. You decide to take a seat and decide not to play. It was his overlay for the Ohio State, the wide receiver. He decided, hey, I'm not playing.
Olave. Uh-huh.
Olave, yeah, Olave. He decided I'm not playing. So I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that, saying, because it's not like it's a ethical issue, or I'm not going to even say necessarily a moral issue, but what I'm saying, and it's not to say that that's where you show where their morals lie, but it does bring up a flag for me, because it's like, why not play? And I think Kirk Herbstreit was talking about it too, like, saying they basically picked you to come to the organization, I mean the institution, get an education, hopefully help to win some ball games, and then some of these players decide, hey, I'm not playing. But of course, I might think differently if it was me, or if it was my son or daughter that was in a similar situation. So at this point, we're just talking, but that's how I feel. Um,
And
but go
that's
ahead.
that's a legitimate concern and gripe about it. I totally get it. You're right. Any player can get hurt in any time, no matter what. But the likelihood of somebody getting hurt prior, falling and stuff like that is probably less than it is playing in a bowl game. You know what I'm saying? Don't mind. Yeah, we've seen players go to the NFL combine and get hurt and get hurt. It's happened before, and not saying it. God forbid it happens to anyone, here in the near future, but it has happened, and those are chances that you take, and you just gotta, everything is a chance. Everything is up to a chance. It's our chances are that you're taking. Whether you play in the bowl game, whether some people even opt out of the combine just to do, team workouts
Yeah,
at the school because some prefer not to do the combine because they want to throw or perform at their own facility or amongst their own players and stuff like that. So, it's just a chance in which you take. But when it's all said and done, the scouts have to see what you're capable of doing. Yes, they have video and tape and footage of you playing throughout the season, but I'm sure a lot of those scouts and coaches and stuff like that want to see you firsthand. Yeah, you see what it is on tape and but they want to see your measurables in person. A lot of times they want to see how do your mannerisms. A lot of times they want to just talk to you and see where your head is at. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. So, and I don't know. I don't know how scouts or coaches feel about, you know, student athletes not participating in bowl games. I mean, do they give them a big ups for not participating, or do they look at them look down on them because they don't participate? Only a coach can tell you, or a scout can tell you whether or not they look, if that's a ding against them when it comes to getting ready for the NFL.
now what's interesting is, saying, as we set up in like a quick Pinterest in what we're talking about now. As y'all heard Bishop say, saying he, saying being an athlete. So of course y'all know, like you said, we both serve in the military. Part of that is, yes, U.S. Armed Forces individuals, whether you're a sailor, a Marine, a
Soldier.
airman, a soldier. Space Force. I don't know what they call. I was about to say Space Cadet. That just was gonna roll off my tongue, but that's not what they are. But
Yeah.
in any case, athleticism. Like myself and Bishop played 3 or 4 years for while we were stationed at Fort Hood. Shout out to Fort Hood, the great place.
Yes.
We both were cooks, of course. What we're called now, what we would call now is culinary specialists. So we both served as culinary specialists at a facility called Freeman Dining Facility in 13 ESC on Fort Hood. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
During that time frame, of course, the cooks. Like when you think cooks, you know what I'm saying? If you could comment in the comment, when you hear cook in the military, you can let me know what first thing comes to mind. Of course, this is what came to a lot of people's mind until we pulled up in them orange and green laden uniforms with G Unit crested across the chest. For those in the service, especially the Army service, you have MOSs, which is basically considered to be what your job is in the MOS, and this usually comes with an identifier. In this case, 92 Golf or 92G is what culinary specialists are labeled. So that was the reason for G Unit, because basically we were a bunch of cooks that were on a team that was put together. But you know what I'm saying, the G Unit that represented 13 COSCOM was a force to be reckoned with.
Facts.
And so, you know what I'm saying, like they say, athleticism, you got to understand, cooks be up. That old moniker, we do more before
6
you do
a.m. than
6
most
a.m. than
people
most
do
people
all
do
day.
in the day. That is an understatement when you're a cook, because
Facts.
there's been plenty of times when I had to go in and open the DFAC as a shift leader, as the training room NCO, or whatever case like that. Had to go in and open the building about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning so that we can go ahead and ensure that a hot meal is ready for our, you know what I'm saying, our war fighters when they come to eat. So it was plenty of times in which, you know what I'm saying, that happened. So to be up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning on a day in which you have a game, and then to turn around and serve and be there, most of the time you're there for at least 2 meals. So that's basically from a meal you got to prep the meal. So that's about 5 o'clock. Then the meals doesn't get sent out till 7:30, and then you got to prep the afternoon
Lunch
meal,
meal.
the lunch meal. And so basically, you already been up since about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You probably won't get off, especially if you're NCO, in which both of us were. You probably won't get off till about what,
Two
13,
at the
1400.
yeah, 1400 the latest.
And now keep in mind, like, yes, being you're off at the DFAC, you still have to go and do work with your unit, in which your unit might be like, hey, you know what I'm saying, Sergeant Amir, I need you, Sergeant Davis, I need you to come by, you know what I'm saying, hey, we got a range coming up, I need you to come by and do. So there's a lot of
PT.
things that come in that, you know what I'm saying. So, you know what I'm saying, we're not saying, but to sit up and do that and then have to go play a game at 1800, being it was flag football or basketball, which we both
We had
played.
basketball too.
Yes, that is, you know what I'm saying, that alludes to the athleticism. And I'm a big purveyor of saying that it's not about, like, the physical is like, it's just 10-20% physical. It's the mental part of
Is the
what you can
biggest.
get you is the biggest thing. So, you know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying, in any case, I get off my soapbox, you know what I'm saying. Shout out to the we're not student athletes, and some of us may be, but you know what I'm saying, shout out to the soldier athlete that's out there for the most part. But go back to what we said. Let's get to the 2 games that made the difference: the classic, the Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl. In the Cotton Bowl, you had the Georgia Bulldogs, number 3, face off against the Michigan Wolverines that were the 2 seed. It really wasn't a game. 34-11. Stetson Bennett showed he was a force to be reckoned with. 21 for 31 in passing, 310 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Bishop, did you think that Hutchinson was going to be the difference in this? It was going to be able to thwart that Georgia offense to cause problems for, or do you think that, you know what, Georgia are who we thought they were? They stumbled against Alabama, and they did what they were supposed to do.
Well, first, let me say this, right? So I did post something on Facebook, and I stated that it was going to be an upset. in that game between
And I did
Georgia.
agree with you.
Right. Which it was an upset because Georgia was seeded lower than Michigan. So it was literally an upset because Michigan was supposed to win because they were a higher seed. However, there was no way in on God's green earth that Michigan was going to beat Georgia. It was not even going to happen. I said that when Georgia lost to Alabama. I said the national championship game is going to be Georgia and Alabama. I said that when they came out with the rankings and the way they ranked them, you knew that they wanted that rematch by how they ranked them. It was inevitable. If y'all didn't see that, y'all's blind. Y'all are blind. Alabama blew out Cincinnati. Georgia did what they had to do in killing Michigan. It is what it is. It was inevitable that it was going to be a rematch between Alabama and Georgia. So I was not surprised at what Georgia did. They dominated that entire game. Michigan just didn't have nothing for them, and I really didn't think Michigan deserved to be there. But speaking of which, we can go on over to the next game and talk about Georgia.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
Alabama in Cincinnati. This is why Cincinnati is not getting the credit they deserve. That is why what Alabama did to Cincinnati is why Cincinnati don't get the credit they deserve.
So
They don't get the credit that people feel like they deserve. I'll put it like
Desmond
that.
Ridder, you know what I'm saying? Desmond Ridder, 17 for 32, 144 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. Held the top rusher was 15 carries for 77 yards, and the top receiver was Michael Young, 4 receptions, 55 yards.
Mm-hmm.
It was just
they did ask for that. They did. Without question.
Yeah.
Without
So,
question, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate. Like they had the opportunity
To prove everybody wrong.
But maybe do you think the spotlight was too big?
It can't be too big if you really want to prove to everyone that you're that team. You can't, when you're sitting here asking as a coach, as a university, as a program, that you feel like you're being cheated and not being ranked number one, and then you play against a team like Alabama and you can't do nothing with them. You had your opportunity to shut everybody up and punch everybody in the mouth, including Alabama, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. And it is what it is.
Bryce Young, 17 for 28, 180 yards, passing for 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Yes. But where the rubber really met the road was Brian Robinson, Alabama's running back, 25 carries, 198 yards.
Yeah, he might want to say 2 rushes for
200. 200 yards.
Yeah, he blew it out the water, bro.
He
blew it out, and that's the thing. Cincinnati, when Alabama came out running the ball, and when the first 4 or 5 plays, and they kept Alabama got like 3 first downs after the first 5-6 plays, got like 3 first downs. Nick Saban knew then, he's like, they can't stop the run, and if they can't stop the run, you can cancel Christmas. If you can't stop the run and your quarterback don't have to throw the ball and you can just run the ball, it was a long day for Cincinnati. I knew it. They had multiple opportunities, like Coach Dante said. They had multiple opportunities, and they could not do anything with Alabama, man. And they could not do anything with Alabama. And that's why Cincinnati will not get that respect, man. Everybody, absolutely, Coach. Right? He struggled throwing the ball against Cincinnati. He did at first. But you got to remember, Bryce Young, 6 feet. Ridder, 6'4". However, Bryce Young did not have 1 ball batted. Ridder had 4 balls batted at 6'4". That's a problem. How are you 6'4" and getting your balls batted compared to Bryce Young, who's 6 feet and didn't get not 1 ball batted? That's a problem. That's a problem. When they did the coin toss and Ridder and Bryce were out there on the field at the 50-yard line doing the coin toss, I looked at both of them. I was like, good Lord. I was like, either Ridder is real, real big or Bryce Young is real, real small. But come to find out, Ridder is 6'4", Bryce Young is 6 feet. So it was like, man, I was like, okay, definitely a big difference in height. But when you see behind center, you would have thought it was vice versa. Bryce, I mean, Ritter couldn't. He's getting his balls batted left and right, and that shouldn't happen as a 6'4" quarterback. It shouldn't happen. So Cincinnati, and there's really no more thing. There's nothing else to say for Cincinnati. It really isn't.
They like UTSA basically.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. You know what? I think that would have been a better game.
Cincinnati against UTSA.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, guys. Since UTSA got crushed by San Diego State, it wouldn't have.
I think it still would have been a better game. I mean, I still think that would have been a better game between the two of them. There's no way I seen Cincinnati beating Alabama. I just didn't see that happening. Not in a million years. I didn't see Cincinnati beating Alabama. You going up against one of the greatest coaches in college football history, bro. You have to bring your A game, and Cincinnati did not. They did not bring the A game, and neither did Harbaugh versus Georgia. They did not bring the A game.
So it's basically just the SEC dominance of this year.
They did
imposing their
dominance. They show why the SEC is the conference to beat.
That's your conference soon.
Are you right? Hey, another great team going to a great conference.
Anyways, so what has happened is the CFP championship to determine who the national championship for the 2021-22 season in the NCAA football season is the number 3 Georgia Bulldogs versus the number 1 seeded Alabama Rolling Tide.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're going to talk about this later on because the game is until next week. Next Monday. But already is being seen as Georgia being the underdog. Do you agree? I mean, they're the number 3 seed, you know what I'm saying, for the most part.
Yeah.
But outside of that, is Georgia, even though Georgia's the underdog, I'm hearing the rumblings and seeing the rumblings that Georgia is going to exact their revenge on the Rolling Tide.
I can see that. But I could see that. However, it's still Nick Saban. And when it comes to Nick Saban, believe you me, he's got something up his sleeve. You may think, oh yeah, we played them once, we got it, we got their number, we know what they like to do. Nick Saban's gonna come in there with a whole different game plan when they go to play Georgia again. Believe that. He's not going in there with the same game plan that he came in there playing them the first time. I guarantee that. So it ain't gonna be no running over Alabama if they do win. If Georgia do beat Alabama, it's not gonna be no run over. It's not. If they win, it's gonna be it's gonna be close. It's gonna be real close. I'm not giving you my prediction as of yet because with all these
we do that Friday.
Yeah, with all these COVID cases and the Omicron variant, they've canceled some bowl games because of it. So it all depends on how this week pans out in regards to COVID protocols and COVID and things of that nature. So yeah, it's kind of early to try and give a prediction as of yet to see if both teams will have all players available for that game. Because if anybody's not available, it could be a huge downside for that team in that program during that national championship game. So yeah, Friday would definitely be good for a prediction. So
we got that. Y'all heard it here. Friday, we'll give our predictions, and whoever we might have on as a guest speaker or two, we'll talk about this CFP. So we already have predictions in, and maybe extended because technically we'll be able to talk about it Monday as well.
Facts. So, that's right. Yeah.
So that we'll extend it to Monday, but saying, of course, be here if you want to basically hear that. We know it's going to be a huge game.
It is
a huge following. But in case, in case they're both there and they both give our opportunity to show, when was that? When, again, we talk about a Jalen Hurts and the debacle.
Yeah.
So moving on, we still got about 15 minutes. So the NBA, National Basketball Association, had 7 games that played last night slated. Of course, you had the New York Knicks and the Toronto Raptors. With the Toronto Raptors victorious 120-105. The Indiana Pacers faced off against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the surprising Cleveland Cavaliers for this year. Cleveland was a victorious 108-104. The Miami Heat faced off against the Sacramento Kings, with the Kings edging out by 115-113. The Orlando Magic played against the Boston Celtics, in which my man Jaylen Brown went off for a 50 piece. It helped the Celtics to a 116-111 victory in overtime. The Phoenix Suns 133-99 over the LaMelo Ball led Charlotte Hornets. The Dallas Mavericks faced off against the OKC Thunder. The Mavericks were victorious 95-86. And of course,
Knew that was coming. Here we go.
my LA Lakers.
Let's play Minnesota.
Yes, Minnesota has had our number.
Everybody got y'all number. Everybody got y'all number. Y'all
The Los Angeles Lakers were victorious against the Minnesota Timberwolves 108-103. Bishop, was there any surprising games here?
Yeah, to be honest, I was surprised that the Kings beat the Heat, because the Heat was on a roll, man. DeMar DeRozan was balling for
Not
the
the,
Heat.
DeMar played for the Bulls.
I mean the Bulls. Golly, I don't know why I want to say the Heat all the time. I keep thinking he that's right, he for the Bulls. So, but yeah, I definitely feel like that game was probably still the surprising upset to me, was the Kings over the Heat. The Knicks has been playing bad recently. The Cavaliers, and the Pacers ain't really doing nothing. You expect the Suns to win, Mavericks to beat, the Celtics to win. Yeah, so yeah, the Kings beating the Heat, I think, was the most surprising one. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised the Lakers won too, but it is what it is.
Of course, in the Miami Heat game, you had De'Aaron Fox lead the not direct, Buddy Hield, who's a lot of people feel should have been in LA, led the Sacramento Kings with 26 points, 3 assists, and 6 rebounds, followed up by De'Aaron Fox, as I was saying, in 35 minutes, 24.6 rebounds, 6 assists. Marvin Bagley, I don't know, my man, from all the things and how he was touted in college and coming to the pros, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. The Miami Heat, of course, 5 players in double digits, and yet they weren't able to be victorious. They were led.
It was a 2-point loss, though.
Yeah, true enough. They were led by Tyler Hero, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Jimmy Butler, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. But like you said, it was 2 points. The Kings are now 16-22, and the Miami Heat had fell to 23-14. In other action, like we said, when you talk about the Lakers, let's get to, you said the surprising loss should have been the Lakers losing. Anthony, last year's rookie of the year. I mean, correction, no, he wasn't a rookie, but last year's. Let me see. Yeah, I see you, Coach. Marvin Bagley listed as, I mean, true enough, but I mean, he hasn't lived up to that billing.
He hasn't. So he really hasn't.
But like we were saying, the Minnesota Timberwolves had 6 players in double digits. Correction, 5 players in double digits, led by Naz Reid, 23 points, 11 rebounds, and a double-double, 2 assists. This could have been a situation, I'll just be frank, where the big cat, Karl Anthony Towns wasn't present. So it was the Lakers were able to take advantage of it. Of course, LeBron James, 26 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds to lead the Los Angeles Lakers, as they had 5 players in double digits, 8-man rotation. The next closest man was Malik Monk, who's been kind of on a tangent. He's been picking up the slack. 22 points, 1 assist in 33 minutes. Russell Westbrook, 20 points, 5 assists and 3 rebounds within his 33 minutes of play. The Lakers are currently a 500 team as we get closer to the mid-season break at 19-19. Minnesota Timberwolves are currently 16-20. Are currently 16-20. I mean, like you said, I try to be a realist, and the reality is, I foresee we're 40 games, 38 games into the season, and we're a 500 team. That's not necessary. A lot of people say the team was built to be a playoff juggernaut. I don't see that at this point. I'm still, of course, I'm gonna ride or die with my Lakers, like you ride or die with your Nets. But I'm still a little skeptical. But like it's still, um, we still got a good amount of games, over half the season that's still out there, and I'm still I'm still optimistic when it comes to the Lakers. Um, Tonight's slate of games, of course, Bishop, we'll talk about some of them and see which one you and see who your picks are. We got the Hornets versus the Wizards, uh the Rockets at the 76ers. As I stated, good game. The Memphis Grizzlies at the new Brooklyn Nets, Utah Jazz at the Pelicans, the Detroit Pistons facing off against the Milwaukee Bucks, the the Orlando Magic against the DeMar DeRozan led Chicago Bulls, the Denver Nuggets to face off against the Dallas Mavericks, the Miami Heat to travel to up to upstate California to face off against the Golden State Warriors, and the Atlanta Hawks to face off against the Portland Trailblazers, and the Minnesota Timberwolves do battle with another LA team, the Los Angeles Clippers. In that Magic's Bulls game, I know you know saying, in which we was going to talk about DeMar DeRozan. I know you just talk about DeRozan. Shout out the homie Hub City representing DeMar DeRozan, represent the city of Compton. What's your what's your take on saying this DeMar? I mean, it's Zach LaVine's team for the most part, but what's your take on the Bulls and
Is it
DeMar?
is it Zach LaVine's team still?
I don't know, man.
I beg to differ. To be honest with you, because right now the way DeMar DeRozan is coming in and playing, I mean, the last game in which they played the other night on New Year's,
He's been two of them, as a matter of
yeah,
fact.
he had 30. He had 28 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists, man. Compared to Zach LaVine's, Zach had 35 points, 5 boards, and 3 assists. So, I mean, DeMar DeRozan is just balling out, man. The shot that shot he hit in the corner with somebody all in his face and still knock that shot down to win that game, bro. DeMar is balling out, man. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Chicago scares me. Chicago is a team that is definitely a team to be reckoned with, man. And I truly feel like I know you know who's real happy about that right now. You do know.
yeah. Shout out Mike.
Mike, Mike is
Mike
real, man.
Hughes,
Shouts out to Mike for, because that's his squad. He can't be happy about them Bears, but he definitely can be happy about them Bulls, because the Bulls is definitely playing some great ball out there, man. Them boys is, they DeMar, Zach, who else? Kobe White.
Yeah, Kobe
Yeah.
White, Lonzo
Gucci.
Ball,
Yeah, they, them boys is they doing their thing, man. So I mean, it is what it is. In regards to tonight's games, they'll probably definitely win that game against Orlando at home. My biggest concern for tonight's game, and probably the game of the night, is probably gonna be it'll probably be either the Hornets and the Wizards, because that's gonna be a good game, I think, and the Grizzlies and the Nets, of course, because we know that boy Ja He's a force. That boy is gonna bring his A game, and he's been balling too.
Yes,
John,
yes, yes.
John Morant been balling,
That is
so that's gonna be
unfortunate because even though Kyrie came back, he can't play
he
because it's a home game. So
right,
what? Let me ask you this because we
right.
didn't get a chance to talk since he came back. How do you feel about Kyrie being back and still not vaccinated to where he can be
Yeah,
effective to the team?
right, and can't play in his own home
Yeah.
game, home court. Um, that's crucial, man. I don't even know, like, I I don't know if something. I don't know if his pockets begin to get a little empty, and
I
he
thought the
chose
same
why
thing.
he needed to come back, or what. But I feel like, and everybody got their reason on why not being vaccinated, or why they choose not to be vaccinated and whatnot. And then, like we just spoke about, the Omicron variant is out now, and it's being. And one thing about the Omicron variant is that it's uh, out of all three other variants. Excuse me, the Omicron variant is the most easily transmittable. Um, and that's the one is everyone is seemed to be catching right now, and the numbers are going up on the COVID virus because of the Omicron variant. So uh, yeah, I feel like I don't even know what it really doesn't make sense to me, because how are you going you can play in away games, but when you come home you can't play, which is when they probably want you more is at home, but you're never going to build any type of rapport or continuity with your teammates if you're only playing you know away games. Like, they need you in all the games, not just some of the games. Like, that just don't make sense to me. So like I said, I feel like it's a money thing in regards to Kyrie wanting to play now,
Hmm.
compared to not wanting to play in the beginning. I mean, we almost halfway through the season. We about to go into the All-Star break next month, right? So
Yes.
with the All-Star break, so and with depending on what the All-Star game is, will determine whether. Well, I don't even think he'll be considered an All-Star because he ain't played all season.
Hmm.
So he probably won't even make the All-Star roster because of the fact he ain't played all season. So yeah, I don't know. I don't understand his method or his reasoning behind it. I hope we get an answer on why he chose now to start playing and still can't play at home. But it is what it is. I don't know if KD and Harden and them done got in his ear and been like, look, man, I need you to get up off your behind, man, and come. If you ain't gonna play at home, at least play in some of these away games, man. Because look, you asked up, you got us over here in New Jersey. I need you to. I mean Brooklyn. You got us over here in Brooklyn. I need you to do what you need to
Do
do.
what
So
you gotta do.
man, we need you on the court, bro. You trying to make a run? We need you on the court to make that run.
So something I forgot to bring up, and saying we got a couple of minutes before I can go out on this. Something I forgot to bring up during the as we was talking about Antonio Brown or AB to that he's also known. My man dropped a track, an album, a quick album called "Pit to the Palace" within 24 after he left the game. I forgot to
Who
talk
did?
about it after Antonio Brown.
He dropped
Pit
a track.
Pit, not the Palace. If you go check it, to look on YouTube, yeah,
No.
my man dropped the track. So,
Okay.
so you know what I'm saying? You're saying having fun with the topic. You know what I'm saying? The last couple of minutes. Was this a opportunity? Do you think him and Arians conspired together? Like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. You're not gonna be with us next year. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead create a buzz. I know you got an album coming out. Go ahead and create a buzz around your album and where for you to basically leave so you can drop it.
You think that's so? You think they were in cahoots together to try and get a
Yeah,
draw a buzz for his album?
yeah, you'll say just to show that we greatly appreciate you
Yeah,
for helping us to win the championship last year. You're not
yeah.
gonna be here next year.
I don't know, man. That's funny though. That's funny. I mean, that's a theory to really think about, but that's funny. I didn't know he dropped the track. I'm
Yes.
definitely once we get off of here, I'm definitely gonna go check it out and see what it was about and listen to what he got to say. But obviously it wasn't something that he had wrote last night or before the game, and so obviously it was something
Well,
that he had in the making.
it's only 2 minutes long. It is more
Oh,
so
okay.
ad. It sounds like more so ad libbing than anything.
Oh, okay.
But saying and talking or whatever case like that. But yeah,
Mm.
he definitely dropped it. So if y'all get a chance out there, check
I'm
out
definitely gonna
Pit.
check it out. I'm definitely
Pit,
gonna check it
not
out.
the Palace. AB Pit Not the Palette. Shout out to Master Sergeant Miller for giving me the tape right before we got on the air.
What's his rap and handle? What's his name?
That's what AB.
You just AB?
Yeah, that he's dropped.
Oh,
He's
okay.
dropped a couple of albums. Actually, he dropped the album last year under it. But Pit Not the Palace is the name of the track. It's a picture of him with the half face, and he got a helmet on one side, and he got him with a crown on the other. So make sure y'all check it out, and maybe
a lot of people feel like he might be bipolar.
He's definitely a special person.
Dude. Absolutely.
So yeah, so basically, you know what I'm saying, that's for the most part, that's our time for today. You know what I'm saying, first formation morning sports talk, you know what I'm saying, here with myself, Trey, my man Bishop. We're here Monday through Fridays, 9 to 11 to 09 to 1100 hours, or 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for those civilian-minded individuals. Like you said, if you're a veteran, that's veteran supported, you know what I'm saying? It's, even though we're veterans, it's not all about veterans, but y'all will hear that a lot. So if there's any veterans that that are into sports heavily, or you know what I'm saying, media presence that are in the sports, please feel free to hit us up on the E2G Sports Network. They have other shows that's on there. Be sure to go check them out. And like you said, be here every morning with us. First formation, 909. Sean, got anything? Bishop, got anything before we ride out here?
No, man. I again appreciate you, man. Appreciate Ron for being on here as well, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. And like he said, it's the first formation, and you don't want to miss formation.
Yeah, don't be
You don't want to be on the carpet, man. You got to be on the carpet. You got to answer the first one. And if you have to answer the first one, that's not gonna be a good day for you. So don't miss formation, man. If you're on time, if you are on time, if you early on time, if you're early on time, if you on time, you're late. So make sure you be on the right station at the right time at 0900 here for E2G Sports, so we can give you all the updates on what's going on around the country in sports, man. It's your man Sean, aka Bishop, in the building. Let's go. And by the way, I got a rep, man. I've already repped my Sooners, man, but you know I got to rep my fraternity, man. Rofa Military Fraternity Incorporated. As you can see, my beloved frat brother right there, he also reps that Siro Phi, as you all know, man. So hey, if you have any questions in regards to that, man, make sure y'all tune in and hit us up in the inbox, man. We can definitely get y'all squared away to be a part of the most amazing and the greatest military fraternity in the world.
Yes, and so that's, you know what I'm saying, like I said, that's it for us. Matter of fact, show attention, fall out.
Roll.